my Bible chat, and I'll run with this. The verse of the day is Colossians 3 and 12, which says, therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Right? Um, Today I am grateful for God's grace, God's mercy. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Um, Today is a God blessed day. Yesterday was pretty sad too. It's Father's Day, but as you know, that means to those that know, my father passed away a couple of years ago, right while I was in this room actually, and he was me and him were really close, and it was devastating for me. So days like that when you're supposed to celebrate him, um, it was kind of down. But you know what? God is truly good, and I'm just glad that I have the opportunity to be a good father like he was to me, to my children. So I'm gonna keep running with that. But in this particular part of the scripture, this was a very important reminder. Speaking straight off the top of my head because I just opened up my chat to get to the other scriptures that I had saved, and this was the verse of the day. But in this, the Apostle Paul, who's speaking in the Colossians, tells us that, and it's so funny if you understand the little bit of the pretext behind who these Colossians were, they were very much like a fighting people, you know. They were like a strong, strong-minded, very much battle-ready population that he was speaking to, and he was reminding them, that they were God's chosen people, right? And he said that. Um, You are holy and dearly loved. But this is the most important thing about this, right? And it made me think when I read it just now. He says, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, right? And think about it. That means that if you don't have these things, you should be naked, right? And when you're naked, you'll be ashamed. So the opposite behavior of these, you should be embarrassed about it if you're a Christian, and that's so true, because I mean, I don't know how each and every one of you are, but I very much, if I feel, like if I do something and I don't like what I did, I I I don't feel good about it. I feel embarrassed, if I did something what I feel like, somebody um somebody won't like, or I feel like I offend somebody, I'll feel embarrassed about it, and that's, I guess, is what the Apostle Paul was speaking to the Colossians about because of who these people were, you know what I mean? Because they were an aggressive society, because they were an aggressive people. He was telling them that, listen, y'all shouldn't be proud of the fact that, that you could fight somebody. Like how people is brag as though or walk around like they good fighters or like they old or like, sometimes in society we tend to glorify um this whole culture of having this back and forth with people or being able to fuss people out or being known for the person not to mess with. You know what I mean? Apostle Paul is basically telling us that we should be embarrassed about it. That we should be ashamed of that kind of behavior as Christians because the way that we should be is walking with humility and grace, and mercy. Like these are the things that we should not be embarrassed of. Like we should feel confident in these things, So thank you, everyone, again, for the opportunity to speak. Don't want to speak too much longer because we got a late start this morning.